Hello, everybody. It is Tuesday. Kitty's with us. Jennifer. Dana. I think Kitty beat Jennifer tonight. What kind of upside down world are we in? Hello, everybody. Lisa. Vicky. Kelly. The Powerball winner of the day, Kelly. Michelle's with us. Hey, Adele and Dazzle. Good to have you with us. Great to have you all here. Russell on vacation is joining us. Or is today your travel back day, Russ? You missed my sponsor post the other day for you. You'll have to go back and watch that video. I can use it again another night when you're actually back at work, Russ. I will do it again. Greetings from I-10. Aha! I am car talk for Russ. That does not mean you can go 110 on that road. Hello, Lisa. Great to have you with us. Great to have everybody here. Love having you guys join us. It does make the evening better. Hey, Cheryl. What is everybody grateful for this Tuesday? What are we all grateful for on this wonderful Tuesday evening? It's a hot one out there in the Northeast. But what are we grateful for? Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Tell me everything you feel. Tell me all about it. What is happening there tonight that we are grateful for? I know you're all grateful for something. I know Russ is grateful for great time with his father for Father's Day. Linda, great to have you here. A beautiful evening in Illinois. I like that. It is a beautiful evening here in Connecticut. Cheryl got a grant. All right, Cheryl. Oh, that's great, Vicky, that you got to see your dad for the first time in 3.5 months. That is the lack of actual person-to-person contact is a real hardship for this, especially for the olders. Hey, yeah, that was great, Kelly. I loved watching your idol go through. 7 days. Boom, done in the bank. Hey, Julie. Lisa, that's great. So again, keep in mind what I've said about grants. I love that you got a grant, and I love everybody that is getting them, because those are a hell of a lot better than these loans. Okay, but there is tax consequences to them. Most of the time. I'll still take tax consequences on free money than the loan. So I'll take that. So there's two things to keep in mind with the grants. One is it is public information most of the time, okay, because they are grant money. Hey, Suzanne, great to have you with us. And there is typically, you'll get a 1099 come January. And so not too worried about it this year with people's incomes and everything disrupted with 3 months of no sales. But it is something that I have to keep you advised of so that you are aware of that could happen, that you could have an actual tax issue in January when you get that 1099. Cheers, Leanne. So just keep that in mind, but I'm thrilled with all these grants that are showing up for everybody. That is so exciting. Because, we've worked this hard, and so much of this is money that is, that we have to pay back, that people are borrowing. So I don't want people in debt, but I do want you to survive to the other side. So that is so important here. So just things to keep in mind here as we continue to grow. But we're going to grow our way out of this. We are going completely full steam ahead to the other side. Going to the other side. And I am so excited for that, and so excited for the path that all of us are on. We are on a great path, and there are many, many great things ahead of us. So what else are we grateful for this Tuesday? Terrific Tuesday. Terrific Tuesday. Hey, Suki, great to have you with us. We've been catching you at the right time lately. I know you had been watching a lot of times on the replay, Suki, but great to have you here live. Great to have you here live. Russ is driving across I-10 here, headed back to Orlando area. So great to have everybody with us tonight. Okay. And get this program started here. Sherry's with us tonight. Great to have you, Sherry. All righty. We're going to get the program started because I got a lot to cover tonight. We are going with the Good Morning, Good Night book is how we start this program each and every night. Let's see what we got here in the Good Morning, Good Night book. Grateful for family, fun, low traffic, and a few troopers. Hey, they're just there to guide you along the way, Russ. They use those lights. It's a guide path. Just wave to them like they're your friends. They are. I look at them as my protection detail when I'm on the road. Hey, Joanne, great to have you with us. I don't like that one. Hang on a second. All right, we're going with page 34 tonight, Kitty. Kitty's the only other one that's got this book. Me and Kitty are reading from this book every night. Good morning. The moment that connects you to your true passion might be on the other side of breakfast. Or just a baby step there. Let's see. That is our good morning tonight. And let's see, let's get this party started. Hey, Pat in the Peanut Gallery is with us. Crystal Stephen in Colorado is with us. We got a lot to cover tonight, so let's get to it. Woo. The National Retail Federation has helped coordinate a joint letter signed by 22 trade associations representing retailers and brands that was sent to the Federal Reserve Board, the Department of Treasury, the Department of Commerce, calling for the creation of an emergency temporary federal commercial trade credit insurance backstop. Trade credit insurance is such an important thing in traditional retail. And it's so important for the flow of goods. Okay, that is trade credit, the actual letters of credit and such that banks issue is what gets money on the ocean. Puts the freight in motion essentially and keeps commerce moving. So it is a very important critical part of retail, but it is in jeopardy right now with COVID because of cash flow issues with so many businesses, and it's a big circle. It's a missing backstop. Having the federal government be a commercial, or the Federal Reserve be a trade credit backstop would be huge. This is stopping new orders from going in, okay, and getting processed. Germany, France, the United Kingdom, and Canada have already taken this step to protect their businesses. We need the U.S. financial system to do the same. The CDC and guidance. The CDC. Coronaviruses, like the one that causes COVID-19, are thought to be spread mostly by person to person through respiratory droplets when someone coughs, sneezes, or talks too much. It's possible that a person it's technically possible, okay, that you can get COVID-19 by touching something. okay, including food packaging, etc., that has the virus on it, wipe it all over you, and you could technically get it. But that is not the way the virus spreads. Currently, there's no evidence to suggest that handling items such as packaging, food, or etc., is associated with COVID-19. So, nice guidance coming from the CDC to talk about it, but it is still something that needs to be further vetted out. Kroger sells face masks to meet Texas county mandate. Kroger, which we've talked about Texas, and their new mask mandate. Kroger is now offering face masks for sale at the front of its Houston area stores within Harris County, Texas, to avoid having to turn away shoppers who don't have face coverings. The move comes after a county judge mandated face masks be worn inside retail businesses, including grocers, as a way to fight the state's recent surge in virus cases. I didn't realize that was a judge that forced that. Neiman Marcus evaluates its store lineup in reorganization. Neiman Marcus said this week that its bankruptcy filing came because of the need to cut debt, but it didn't explicitly rule out exiting any of its brick-and-mortar stores. The retailer, which reported positive same-store sales before the pandemic, didn't comment on a report that Facebook is interested in its space in the new Hudson Yards in New York City, a new retail development. It's actually a retail and office development. It's smart, Jana, right now. You got no choice but to. Hey, Angela. Hey, Jana. New York City retailers focus on safety as they reopen. Saks Fifth Avenue, New York City's flagship, could have been tailor-made for social distancing. Capacity capped shopper counts at 5,500 in the store. A number the retailer doesn't hit on the busiest day of the year. Saks president Mark Metrick said the luxury department store retailer and others in the city are taking a measured approach to reopening to ensure compliance with rules meant to keep shoppers and employees safe. Fifth Avenue is going out of style for luxury retailers. Fifth Avenue, out of style for luxury retailers? Oh, I bet you're selling Cubs masks, Joanne. You are in that zone there. High-end fashion stores on New York's Fifth Avenue used to play. The only thing with that is making sure that you're actually selling licensed apparel. If you're using any types of logos in the masks that you're selling officially licensed materials so that you are selling authentic goods and not selling counterfeits. High-end fashion stores on New York's Fifth Avenue used to play the role of a showroom where shoppers could browse through curated racks of clothes with a glass of champagne. However, with shopping at a near standstill and in-store sales hovering at zero, the prime real estate is becoming a drag on retailers' balance sheets. In fact, Italian fashion house Valentino sought court approval to immediately terminate its lease on its four-story New York boutique on Fifth Avenue, saying its premium address had been substantially hindered and rendered impractical, unfeasible, and no longer workable. According to a complaint filed to the Supreme Court of the state of New York, Valentino blamed COVID-19 related restrictions, social distancing measures, a lack of consumer confidence, and a prevailing fear of patronizing in-person, non-essential luxury retail boutiques. It is the latest luxury retailer scrambling to adapt to a new world order of contactless shopping and stalled international travel that could hasten the fall of some of the most iconic stores for the rich. Given a lot of the uncertainties, it's not surprising to see a lot of luxury retailers say, do we really need to be here paying these incredibly high rents? I don't think it's going to be the last of what we're seeing here, said UBS Chief Investment Office. I want to see, there was something else in there I wanted to... Chinese shoppers made up about 1/3 of luxury sales leading into the pandemic, they said, but with travelers from China restricted from entering the country to contain infection rates, the future of luxury is dependent on Asian shoppers is unclear. So that is interesting. There. Bailey! Good to have you with us tonight. Michelle! Great to see you, Michelle. Preet reports non-acre occupancy at 85% across its reopened malls. One of America's biggest mall owners back in business with a great majority of its tenants at their registers. Preet's Capital City Mall in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and Dartmouth Mall in Providence, Rhode Island were both 85% occupied on reopening days. Preet was positive about traffic too, noting that the Patrick Henry Mall in Newport News, Virginia drew 99% as many visitors as it did the same week last year. The average non-anchored occupancy rate across its mall portfolio was 85%. We are extremely encouraged by these results and thrilled to be on the path toward full reopening. With June opening dates set for suburban Philadelphia properties, Preet's entire portfolio to be operational by the end of the month. The single exception will be the new Fashion District in Center City, Philly, which is expected to open July 4th weekend. In noting that it's getting its malls back open, will employ 30,000 workers and contribute more than $60 million in tax revenue annually to the communities in which it operates. I'm coming to that, Sherry. I will answer that question. I think the future is bright, is my short answer, but I have more data on that. Stay tuned. I think the future is bright. Very, very bright. Max, what are you doing? Max. Okay. Max is okay. You never know sometimes what Max is doing. Max is looking for food. Bed Bath & Beyond adds $850 million in new credit facility. Nearly all stores open by July. This is a double-edged story I have coming on Bed Bath & Beyond, so hang in there with me. The struggling home goods retailer said Monday it has executed an additional $850 million credit facility to further strengthen its liquidity position amid the unprecedented challenge from the pandemic. While the impact of COVID-19 situation has been felt across our business, we have taken measured, purposeful steps to maintain our financial flexibility. They ended fiscal 2020's first quarter with approximately $1.2 billion in cash, and we now have access to additional liquidity, putting them at almost over $2 billion in cash. But flip the page on them, and Bed Bath & Beyond in more layoffs. Bed Bath & Beyond is reducing its workforce again. Part of this is efficiencies, but the struggling home goods retailer is laying off 148 employees at the company's headquarters, located in Union, New Jersey. It's also closing a contact center operation site at the West Oaks Mall in Florida in August, resulting in the elimination of 221 positions. And in February, they had previously announced it was cutting about 500 jobs, or 10% of its corporate workforce. We're announcing extensive changes today to right-size our organization as part of our efforts to reconstruct a modern, durable business model. We don't take this action lightly, but while difficult, these measured and purposeful steps are necessary. This will reset our cost structure, allowing us to reinvest where it matters most to our customers, to reestablish our authority in the home space. Don't worry, Leanne. I am feeling bright on the future of resale and clothing. It is, we're at a critical juncture here right now, and you've been in a tough area right there outside of Atlanta with all that's going on, not only from the pandemic, but the riots, and I think the overall long term is going to be good, but we do have to get through some things. And I've said all along, if we go back to some of my early talks, fall before we saw any sort of normalcy to a cycle of sales. But I am encouraged by what I see. Thirsty Kirsty's with us tonight. Hey, Thirsty Kirsty and Kim. Great to have you with us. Great to see you guys live joining us tonight. JCPenney announces another 13 additional store closures. As sales, continue to go, they're going out of business sales at several of the stores. This closure included 2 in Washington, 7 in Michigan, and 1 in Maryland, 2 in New York, and 1 in California. Of course, pending court approval. The sales are expected to begin around July 3rd. But I think pennies are I think it's gonna be interesting to see who scoops up pennies. Ellen, great to have you with us. I gotta catch up with you. We keep on not catching up, but we do need to catch up. Say hi to Mike for me. A Sensa Group to pay out millions to execs amid reports of possible bankruptcy. A Sensa Group restored base salaries and awarded cash retention bonuses for top executives amid reports that the troubled apparel retailer is headed for bankruptcy. In a securities filing, the company said that this week a cash retention of award about $1.1 million each will go to the CEO and interim executive chair, and another more than $600,000 will go to the executive vice president and CFO. The awards, which cover a 6-month period, that's a nice deal for 6 months, are subject to repayment if the executives are terminated or leave without good, quote-unquote, literally, good reason. According to the company, also accelerated executive performance bonuses for fiscal years 2018 and 19 so that they are to be paid in August of 2020 and 2021, respectively. These compensation changes will enable the company to retain and continue to motivate its executives. Yes, we have survived our worst situations. Their sales have been in decline for 3 years running and has operated at a loss for even longer. The apparel retailer has also reportedly hired a law firm as an advisor and is considering a possible bankruptcy filing. Although some of their banners have recently performed well, including Ann Taylor, Lane Bryant, and its Plus fashion business, the company's sales continue to sag. Their sales fell 4.3% in the fourth quarter as its operating loss widened by 120%, and their long-term debt stands at more than $1.2 billion. We'll see what happens. They have some good brands, they have some good products. The Holy Chic sale starts tomorrow? Holy Chic! I can't believe it! Yay, Ellen! I'm so excited for you. I am so excited, Ellen. Woo-woo! That sounds like Dutch's daughter for dinner after that. I'm just saying. I'm envisioning a Dutch's daughter, or maybe you're having Dutch's daughter tonight to rest up for tomorrow. That's going to be amazing. Amazing. I can feel it. Brookfield, the landlord who is suing tenants such as Gap and others, is skipping their payments while demanding tenants pay up. Brookfield is chasing retailers to pay thousands and millions of dollars in rent on outlets that were forced to close during the pandemic, even as the Canadian investment group skips payments on its mortgages and asks lenders for forbearance. Some shopkeepers who lease kiosks and small stores inside Brookfield malls have been told to pay rent for April and May, and during a period during which the properties are mostly closed, according to people familiar with the discussions and correspondence reviewed. But several tenants who asked for rent forgiveness described being asked to provide extensive financial information, including their personal tax returns for the past 2 years. The merchants, who requested anonymity for fear of antagonizing a powerful landlord, said Brookfield ultimately refused to waive the rent payments, although it offered to give them until the end of 2021 to come up with the money. Another group of half a dozen tenants signed a joint plea for help and presented it to managers at one of the Canadian group shopping centers. I will not address the merits of your petition, a Brookfield lawyer wrote back. He added that confidential clauses written into the shopkeepers' leases meant that talking to each other about the contracts could be deemed a default of your agreement with Brookfield. That type of clause is not that uncommon, okay? I have had deals with a clause like that because of different deals that I've been able to negotiate. So, you know, you don't want to push landlords into a corner by grouping together. That tends not to win. So, but the fact that they're skipping the mortgage payments too and throwing it on the little guy, I find that kind of interesting. You know, I always sit and talk with other tenants, especially long-term ones, before I rent in a space, so I know what kind of landlord I'm working with. Amazon is debuting the Big Style event. The e-tailer launched the Big Style sale on its marketplace on Monday, offering consumers as much as 50% off certain apparel products. The event includes deals on Amazon's private labels as well as third-party brands like Adidas, Calvin Klein, and some designer labels, with some offers running through June 29th. They're trying to boost their position in the apparel market, which is one of the reasons they're supposedly interested in JCPenney. And they're trying to boost revenue at a time where they've postponed Prime Day due to the pandemic. So we'll see where it happens there. Neiman Marcus's creditors plan on filing a competing restructuring plan. Unsecured creditors of Neiman Marcus will challenge the bankrupt retailer's restructuring plans, seeking to file a competing proposal that would take aim at Neiman Marcus's private equity owners over a spin-off of the My Teresa e-commerce business. So that would be interesting. I don't think they're going to get anywhere, but we'll see where that goes. Okay, the resale market. You asked, I provide details. The resale market is predicted to reach $44 billion by 2029. According to a new report from ThredUp, 79% of consumers plan to decrease their apparel spending in the next 12 months, and 4 out of 5 say they already have or are interested in shopping secondhand to save money. In 2019 alone, about 40% of Gen Z and 30% of millennial respondents said they bought used clothing, footwear, or accessories, up from about 26% and 21% in 2016. We're getting the extra buyers. Look at that. That's 4 out of 10 people. The report also found that 90% of Gen Z consumers have or are interested in purchasing used goods when they're low on cash, and 80% said there's no stigma in doing so. Over the next 5 years, 52% of consumers expect to spend more money on secondhand fashion, according to ThredUp's research. The report projects that the secondhand market will grow to 17% of the overall apparel market share in 2029, second only to the off-price sector. They're projecting this based on a further decline in the fast fashion market share, so the cheap junk. It's reported predicts that by fashion market will reach $43 billion compared to $36 billion for traditional thrift and donation market and $44 billion for the resale market. Market will hit $64 billion in 2024 on top of 2019's predictions for the market to reach $51 billion by 2020. ThredUp's research suggests that consumer spending via its own platform has been sparked in part due to COVID-19. In addition to consumers opening up to secondhand goods while low on funds, the report showed 20% growth for ThredUp between mid-March and May 31st. But they're also committed to a partnership strategy. The secondhand business has partnered with a range of retailers, including Walmart, Macy's, Gap, and Madewell. The company's latest research shed some light on why retailers are interested in these collaborations. Its report found that 82% of retail executives are interested in resale because of higher foot traffic. 66% think it's good for the environment, and 58% want to attract those younger shoppers. So resale is hot, and you're in it. People, you are in this. You are in it to win it. And we are more likely to win it because we have a connection with our shoppers. We are their safe place. We are the place where they find comfort, where they find joy. That is what they find. We are in the hospitality business. At the end of the day, we make people feel good. We make people feel good about their home. We make people feel good about what they wear, what they accessorize with, having the right Louis on your shoulder for date night. Okay? We make people feel good. We are the new hospitality business. Okay? And if you're not making people feel good, you're not doing it right. Okay? You got to have some holy chic. Okay? You can do it. Furniture, this report didn't directly deal with furniture, Lisa, but furniture is seeing the same type of indications and growth. The furniture market is looking very, very promising. Comfort and joy. That is right, Michelle. That is what we are here to provide. You are not in the clothing business. You are not in the furniture business. You are not in the luxury market. You are in comfort and joy. You are in the hospitality business. We make people feel good. Okay? And that is so important today and such an important part of your business. Do not forget that. Okay? What do you do to make people feel good today? What do you do to make your team members feel good today? What do you do to make your suppliers feel good today? And what do you do to make those customers that come in your door? Remember, it takes a lot. I covered that last night. To get out into their car and come to your store, to leave their safe place of their home to come to your safe place. Okay? Business is strong and it is only getting better. All right, let's get into some other meat here tonight. Again, it continues to get press that small businesses could receive a second PPP loan under the proposal that I've covered. Okay, so no, Julie, you can't use your PPP loan to buy your son furniture for his new home. But the traction that this is getting in the media, that there could be needs for a second PPP, brings up forgiveness, okay, and the 8 and 24 week time frame, okay, and if possible, I recommend the 8 week when possible, okay. I don't want you to go through hijinks to be able to get there, but part of whether you're going to be able to get a second PPP, should that become an eligible option, is going to be whether you've exhausted your current one, whether you've already applied for forgiveness on it, where you are in that boat. So just something to keep in mind. And I know we'll be talking a lot more about forgiveness in the coming days as people start getting more ready for it. A Massachusetts man has been charged in an alleged $13 million PPP fraud scheme. A Winchester, Massachusetts man applied for more than $13 million in Paycheck Protection Program loans from 4 lenders using falsified information, according to federal prosecutors. Elijah Majik Buai, 38, was arrested Monday and charged with wire fraud. He is listed as the founder and chief executive of Sosuda Tech, a firm that provides engineering and other technology-related services. In the applications, Buai gave the lenders different information about his headcount and payroll. For instance, in seeking a loan from Bank of America for $7.5 million, He wrote that he had 353 U.S. employees with an average monthly payroll of $3 million. But in an application with Florida-based Fountainhead Commercial Capital for an approximately $2 million loan, he wrote that he had 18 employees with an average monthly payroll of $150,000. Bank of America, Fountainhead, and New York-based Newtek Small Business Finance rejected his applications. But a fourth lender, the San Francisco-based financial services technology firm Funbox, allegedly approved him for a PPP loan worth $2 million. Federal authorities have seized about $1.98 million from his bank accounts. The applications came with completed Internal Revenue Service forms that point to fraud. On each IRS form indicated that his employees were based in Massachusetts, but there's no evidence that he ever filed reports with the Massachusetts Department of Unemployment Assistance, as he would be required to do if he had Massachusetts workers. According to LinkedIn, he has 6 employees, all other than him, who are in India. Oh, Michelle, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. You know where to find me, Michelle. Don't be afraid of that email. There's going to be a lot on PPP. Oh yeah, there's a lot of great furniture stores. And that is the ultimate news on PPP forgiveness, is the banks aren't ready. And they're not ready because SBA and Treasury haven't really given them the final stuff. But I have the inklings of some of the final stuff in 36 pages of quality nighttime reading. One of them is the SBA procedural notice, okay? And the procedural notice deals with when a PPP loan must be used to refinance an idle loan, which is not in 99.9% of cases here. If your idle loan came in before January 31st or after April 3rd, then it cannot be refinanced with a PPP loan. And it's not required if they were used for separate purposes. It is required that on the PPP form that the idle advance get taken care of. But we will continue to keep an eye on that. There's a lot coming out from them to the banks and stuff. Again, I told you, expect after the 4th of July, okay? So a little more than a week away, that we're going to have to, that the first banks, well, hey, Kitty, whatever puts you to sleep. I thought it was me that would put you all to sleep with all my talking, but still you show up here every night. Yeah, I wouldn't put that as your late night reading. It's all government speak and it's a lot of garbage. But we will get there. I'm predicting again after the 4th of July that the first banks will be ready to handle the first applications for forgiveness. I'm not suggesting being the first one in line for forgiveness, but after a week or two after the kinks get worked out, it's not a bad idea to be in line for forgiveness if you are meeting the criteria. If you're unsure, send me your paperwork. We'll run through the numbers. I've seen a lot of it. Again, you have a choice of 8 or 24 weeks at this point. We do not know yet whether you'll be able to do a midterm of 15 weeks or 12 weeks or whenever you exhaust the money between 8 and 24. We are waiting for clarification on that. But, the sooner you can get it off your books, the better, is sort of my goal. I was talking with my accountant about it yesterday. I was advising my accountant about it yesterday, who has a lot of other clients. And quite honestly, I've just spent a lot of more time on it than he has. But I will keep you in the loop on that as I have more information. Treasury likes to drop stuff in the middle of the night. It's sitting in my box at 5 a.m. a lot of times when I hit print on it so that I can read it. That's one thing I realized tonight. I have gone through, during this pandemic, I have gone through insane, I have color laser printers. I have gone through insane amounts of toner in our printers. Paper and toner, I have gone through insane amounts of. I keep on reordering them, and it's a lot that I print. But I like to mark up things and to have the hard paper versus reading from a screen. That's just the way part of the way my mind works. But we'll get there, people. We're going to get there. We're going to get each and every one of you through forgiveness. Oh, Michelle, yeah, nobody's ready for it. I mean, if the notice from your bank says that they're ready, I would love to read the notice from your bank. My guess is the notice from your bank says we're getting ready and we'll let you know when we are. And you should have some of this paperwork together. But absolutely, if you can do the 8 weeks, you don't want to be first in line, but you want to be in the first couple of weeks after they're ready to do it. But my guess is that letter from your bank, if you open it, just says we're working on getting ready. I was helping one of the guys at my bank. His father owns gas stations, and so I was, giving him different things on that. So I mean, there's just a lot of unknown. Even the people that you think would be most in tune with it are not. Okay, they don't live it every day. Okay. So, you're going through the drive-thru to do your store deposits, which I'm very happy to do. Happy to make store deposits. But, not everybody at the bank has all the answers yet because they aren't living this every day. They aren't doing what we're doing every day, working on this to make sure that we don't owe this. Okay? It's different when you're in it. Okay? I can tell you the technical of how to race a car. Okay, but it'd be much different if I were behind the wheel of a car. This I can do. So we'll walk you all through it. We'll get everybody to the other side of this because it is too important, and I don't want anybody here ending out with an extra loan. So keep that in mind. But that is sort of our highlight report for tonight. All of this information, all of it, everything that I talk about tonight, okay, and every night, is over at narts.org/resalestrong. Narts.org/resalestrong is where you find all of this information neatly organized with updates by noon of the next day of today's. But you get it live here in the Narts private Facebook group as a member. But it goes out there to narts.org/resalestrong by noon the next day because it's just too important. We have to get this to everybody. We have to help everyone regardless of what business they're in. Butcher, baker, candlestick maker, janitor, car racing company, doesn't matter what they are, we got to get them to the other side of this. We got to. It's just too important for our community. Okay? They are part of our community. But when you have a question about your business, your friend's business, the florist up the street, okay, the bookstore, the window washer, doesn't matter, the Orkin man, whoever it is, I'll take their questions too. Okay, whoever it is, wherever you are, I'll take their question. You just email them to me. Neil, Neil, at ECIstores.com. Neil at ECIstores.com is how you reach me, and I will help you with that. Not a problem at all. Just make sure you include your phone number so I can get you on my call list. Linda, yeah, Cabbage will have an automated system together, but they're not ready for this yet either. And you don't want to be first in line there for they're not ready. Because it is unclear. The other thing that is unclear at this point with PPP forgiveness is, let's say they deem that your 8-week application is not forgiven or only partially forgiven. Do you then get to go back to the well for 24 weeks and say, okay, well, I'll just take longer and spend it over a longer period of time? That's unclear. I expect, again, clarification on that soon. And I will keep you posted. But we start every night here tonight with the Good Morning, Good Night book. The Good Morning, Good Night book is how we start this program every night. And tonight, we started on page 34 with Good Morning. The moment that connects you to your true passion might be on the other side of breakfast. Or just a baby step there. Let's see. Good night. The moment that connects you to your true passion might be on the other side of tonight. Or just a baby step there. Let's see. Great graphic. That's our show tonight, people. Tomorrow is Wednesday. I'll be on the phone a lot with you people tomorrow after I take Nana for the arm checkup tomorrow. We go back to the doctor. See if we can get him to fix some other things while we're there. You know, tune her up, make sure she's in good shape. She's doing good. I'm hoping for a good report, but that's where we're headed tomorrow. We will be there. I'll be back here tomorrow night at More 8 Than Ish tomorrow night. You'll find me live here in the North's private Facebook group tomorrow night. But if you need me in between, just email me, Neil, Neil, at ECIstores.com, Neil at ECIstores.com. I'll see you tomorrow night, everybody. But until then, remember that you and you, but most especially you, yes, I'm pointing at you, are not alone running this store. I'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Have a great night.